Mr. Kaushik, how are you?
I'm doing good, sir. Thank you.
So you're with the Cap Gemini now.
Yes, sir. Like I was with Capgemini until May 2023, sir. After which I quit and gave my UPSC.
Oh, so you are presently only pursuing the civil services only, not
Yes, sir.
employed anyway.
Yes, sir.
What was your job profile in Cap Gemini?
Sir, I was working as a consultant in the financial services division of Capgemini, wherein I was dealing with insurance industry in specific, and my clients were mostly insurance companies, and we were working on the business transformation, that is the technological adoption of the insurance companies.
So basically, you are a civil engineering graduate.
Yes, sir.
Didn't pursue your post graduation.
No, sir. I chose Masters in Business Administration post my civil engineering.
Of course, it's a vague question nowadays asking any engineering graduate why you left engineering and came to management side.
Sir, I would like to see it as people pursuing multiple diverse fields. That is, after getting knowledge in engineering, they are choosing business administration because people want to explore. My personal choice was I wanted to explore the business side of things, as well as MBA has its own set of advantages when I evaluated, and I felt gaining a knowledge in business as well as interacting with people from diverse backgrounds in MBA would help me grow as a person. So I personally chose MBA sir post civil engineering.
In recent times, UGC came out with some different types of proposals, like you can enter into any discipline at any point of time. As a civil engineer, if I have a proposition for you to enter into archaeology and heritage conservation, how do you feel about it? Since you are a civil engineer, I am asking this question.
Yes, sir. Sir, the recent proposal, I believe, was a progressive one. And if I was given an opportunity, I would definitely take it up, sir, because I believe that would give me a learning experience in terms of how the aspects of design and architecture was back then, which also involves the element of civil engineering. And it gives us insights to the way in which the discipline progressed, like from the times of studying ancient structures to the present structures that we were taught in our civil engineering. I believe it would be an enriching experience to study those aspects as well. So I would take it up, sir.
Yeah. Now, if I ask you a question regarding the ancient architectural styles or the materials, will you able to answer? Was it part of your curriculum?
Uh, it wasn't part of our curriculum specifically, sir, but I can give an attempt in answering from the little knowledge that I have.
What were the structures of early historic times? You suppose you are the engineer residing in early historic times. Can you explain how the structures were? That is residential buildings. I am not asking about cave structures. Cave buildings, cave temples are very clear. Residential structures of early historic times, take Mauryan or Shatavahana.
Yes. Sir, can I get few seconds to think?
Please, sure, sure.
Sir, from my readings of the history and the art and architecture part, I believe the Mauryans were more into building structures using wood as a material,
Good.
and they have built. There was there are records of multi-storied buildings that they have built, especially the forts in the Megasthenes Indica. But I'm not very sure about the residential structures of the common people in the Mauryan times. Coming to the Satavahanas, sir, I believe Satavahanas used naturally available material like the stone as well as the wood in their construction. But I'm not very sure about the intricate details of their residential buildings.
Brick.
Sir, brick as a material, I'm not sure if it was used in Satvana's time, but it wasn't It wasn't as in use in Mauryan's time, is what I'm aware.
Mauryan also there was brick.
I'll read about it, sir. I'm sorry.
Without brick, you can't have a what you call residential building, the superstructure at least.
Yes, sir.
Of course, in the foundation, you can have stones,
Yes, sir.
but in superstructure, they used brick. And Shatavana is well known for the brick. The biggest brick in Indian history is Shatavana brick,
Okay, sir.
58 centimeters long. So, longest or largest size of brick is found in Shatavana period.
Yes, sir.
What about the roofs? It's a very intriguing thing. If you go to any site, you see all the foundations, and at least up to some extent, you have the walls. But what could have been the material used in the roofs?
Sir, from the historical sites I visited, the material that was used is the stone, or the naturally occurring stone in the roof in most of the caves or the fort structures. Yes,
Residential.
sir. I'm unable to interpret the
And
residential.
of course, in the forts, you have the roofing with the slabs and everything.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But what about the residential? What you said that you have visited some of the archaeological sites. Can you name a few?
Sir, I visited the Hampi structures and also the Golconda Fort and
Hmm.
the Qutub Minar complex.
Yeah,
Uh,
fine.
the,
Have you heard about Dobe and Moat, MOAT?
sir, though, can you please repeat it, sir?
Dobe and Moat.
No, sir. Though by mean, I believe it is the confluence of the rivers region. If I'm Moat, I haven't heard.
Yeah, moats are one thing. Moats means Kandakam.
Oh,
Okay. Anyway, let's come back to your sociology, which is your
yes,
optional. How can you understand the society surrounding you in terms of sociology with regard to caste system?
yes, sir. Sir, understanding the society around me with respect to caste system, it has enhanced my understanding after the study of sociology is what I believe, sir. Like it has taught me to look at the various aspects of caste system in the society from multiple perspectives. Also, secondly, sir, I believe it has gave me insights into the way in which the vote bank politics works. Although I was reading about it in the earlier time before I take up sociology, it was only after the taking up sociology I started analyzing it in a much detailed manner. And so, thirdly, it has also made me understand the various dynamics at play in the society, be it endogamy, which is very much prevalent in the society, or else be it the social closure thesis or elite capture, or else we can say various caste groups keeping the benefits to their caste groups itself. This is something that is prevalent to some extent in the society. Uh, yes, sir. It is in this way that I started analyzing the caste system after the study of social.
What is the direction of the caste as an institution in the past 20 or 30 years? Take 1990 as a cut point. It can go back to 40 years. Post 1990s, what exactly happened with the caste system in the society? What are the dynamics? Is it for good or bad? What's the change you can see?
Yes, sir. Sir, taking 1990 as the cutoff point, I see we can evaluate caste system from multiple perspectives, sir. We can't use a one size fit frame to describe the changes that has happened. In terms of social discrimination or the practices that were prevalent earlier, that is untouchability and also social discrimination against the lower, described lower caste people in the hierarchy, that has decreased to a greater extent because of stronger enforcement of laws and growth of awareness, and also the positive affirmative actions of the state has given the awareness to these lower caste people in order to fight back in the resistance manner. But at the same time, sir, post 1990s, with the increase in with the implementation of the caste-based reservations, castes have started mobilizing into certain groups to forward their own interests, either politically as well as in economic sense. We see economic as well as education to get educational benefits. We have started seeing various castes mobilize into various groups so as to get most benefits from the state or else from the economy. Uh, but endogamy is something again that is still prevalent in India on a larger scale, sir. So if we have to categorize socially in terms of discrimination, caste is seeing a decline, wherein we are not going for selective socialization as was in case before 50 years or 60 years. But if we see economically or politically, we are seeing that castes are consolidating, like castes along the same hierarchy are consolidating to forward their interests or to ask for more reservations. And politically also, people are being mobilized in the name of caste to gather caste-based votes. And we see political parties as well pitching candidates after analyzing caste-based trends and voting patterns. So this is what I understand, sir.
Now, the most talked aspect is the BC census.
Yes, sir.
So, can you tell something about it and what's your opinion and what are the things why BC census has come to fore today, just before these elections, parliament elections? Is it because of the elections or it is really a thing which was pending for a long time?
Yes, sir. The BC census has come into the mainstream arena over the last over the last 1 year because the Bihar government has taken up the caste-based census and it has presented a report and its findings. After which there has been demand as well as initiation from various state governments to undertake the same kind of census. And sir, uh, addressing the issue of BC census, if it is a politically motivated idea or else if it is a genuine concern, I believe, sir, instead of questioning the motives of political parties or the intent, which is very subjective thing, if we take the true objectives or the true real intent, if it is for the positive good of the society and if it is to really address the backwardness of those backward castes who haven't been able to take the benefits of the affirmative actions, I believe it is in the right direction.
Okay. So, what are your hobbies?
Sir, my hobbies are I like traveling whenever I get time. And
Mm.
secondly, sir, I also try to learn new techniques using skipping rope. And also, I like to travel. Yes, sir, these are the two hobbies.
Yeah, I have seen rope, skipping rope as one of the interests.
Yes, sir.
What exactly variation you have with skipping rope? I don't understand actually.
Sir, the variations include like the kind of muscles we engage when we are using the skipping rope. It can be prominently using two legs while skipping, or else we can switch legs, jog in a manner to ensure the skipping activity continues, or else we can skip using one leg, which increases the intensity of one muscle in one leg.
Okay.
And also, yes,
Is there any name for this hobby? Specific name?
sir, it is called jumping rope hobby.
Jumping rope hobby. So, is it developed to an art-like thing extent or just a physical exercise even?
Sir, can you please repeat the question?
Is it developed like an art form or it's a physical exercise?
Sir, it is in the stage of transition wherein it is said there are more than 900 of techniques which we
Wow,
can do with the skipping rope.
amazing.
And there are various world records in these techniques as well. Like there is an Indian called Zorawar Singh who has done skipping rope using skating. Like while he was skating, he has done it for the most number of jumps in a minute. And so, sir, yes, I believe it is in the stage of transition wherein there are multiple techniques that are being experimented and learned across the world.
What was your inspiration for taking up this?
Sir, my inspiration for this started off as a hobby or as a fitness activity when I was in my intermediate. Like my 11th and 12th standard, I was in a hostel and we were mostly restricted to our hostel rooms and the study hours and the study classrooms. So it was my roommates and myself who would keep a competition among ourselves that who would do the most number of thing jumps in the minute or in the time or without breaking the flow. And then it continued as a fitness exercise as well as a learning exercise with new techniques.
Good. You're from Usmania. You're a
Yes,
Usmania graduate, technology graduate.
yes,
BE,
sir.
not BTech. Okay. Tell something about Usmania University and its importance in catering education, higher education in pre-British time, pre-independence times.
Yes, sir. Uh, Sir, importance of Usmania University can be seen in multiple ways, sir. It was, as a university, it was established by Mr. The Nizam of Hyderabad, Mir Usman Ali Khan, and it was his inspiration to establish a university for his state, that is Hyderabad state back then, because there was no higher educational institution that in the particular state. And its contribution to education prior to independence can be seen in the form of various courses that it was offering prior independence, sir. Like it started off with offering arts courses, and then it also started off with offering the civil engineering course, which is the first engineering course which it was offered. And sir, it gave impetus to the science and engineering and arts equally in the pre-independence era. At the same time, sir, it gave equality to women as well, uh, promoting women in higher education before independence. And sir, the language that was used also was Urdu to teach in the initial days, catering to the needs of the local population instead of going for English as the language of teaching directly. And in this way, I believe it gave the initial push to take up higher education, and then the later transition to English has taken place. So, sir, it can be said as a multiple ways in which it contributed.
What is the style of architecture of Usmania University Arts College? Have you seen Usmania? You might have seen Arts College because you are from OU.
Yes,
What
sir.
is the style? Tell me something because it's a fascinating structure.
Yes, sir. Sir, it is a combination of British as well as the Nizam architectural styles. It is said to be that it is designed on the same lines as the Parliament building of the India. Like that is, it is called as Lutyens style of architecture. If I'm correct, I'm not very much sure about this, sir.
I fear you're wrong.
I'm sorry, sir. I'll read about it.
It is not similar to Parliament building. It is devised by a man known as Jasper,
Yes, sir.
and it has many architectural styles, Indo-Saracenic, and even Buddhist elements are there. Vihara style is there. Okay,
Yes,
Gothic incorporated in it. So it's a mixture. Yeah, please go through that architectural
yes,
styles.
sir. Sure. Sir.
Especially Hyderabad has a mixture of architectural styles when we discuss of the late medieval period.
Yes, sir.
So you should be thorough with those things as you are from civil engineering background. Not though you are not from architecture background,
Yes, sir.
but at the edifice, at the outset itself, it can be discussed because you have studied history also.
Yes, sir.
There's a new secretariat building in Hyderabad.
Yes.
So is it special or is it's like any other building? Is it does it have any speciality? As a civil engineer, how do you evaluate it?
Sir, as a civil engineer, I believe the structure is massive in its look for a common man. At the same time, the dome that is incorporated shows the architectural style of the Hyderabad state. So that is something that is special, sir. And apart from this, sir, I also believe its proximity to the Hussain Sagar also demands the foundations to be laid to a much deeper length. That is, we should go for a deep foundation. That is another important architecture, like civil engineering aspect associated with the uh, new secretariat, sir. And apart from this, sir, I'm unable to recall.
Fine, fine. Good. So, what about the reading habits of you? Your pastime, is it a pastime activity? Do you have reading habits, or do you read?
No, sir. I prefer going for audio-visual way of over the recent few years. I prefer for going for audio-visual way of gathering information. Although most of my reading has been confined to academics and uh, very few or very less into fiction or any other aspects. But it's mostly been audiovisuals.
Is there any difference between reading a book or reading a book and audiovisual material? Is there a difference?
Sir, there is definitely a difference. But while I explain this, I believe it is subjective, sir. For me, I feel audiovisual aspect of gathering information stays much more for a longer period of time, and it also creates an interest to me to look at the visual aspects while the explanation is going on, or else to see the graphics that are incorporated in explaining a particular concept. Whereas few people might have that pleasure in reading it through the lines. That is another artistic way of expression. But there is definitely a difference, sir, like the way in which information is presented and described.
Will there be a problem with the visualization aspect if you go for audiovisual, because it is always suggestive? But whereas if you read a book, your visualization is yours.
Yes, sir.
Your capacity to visualize, your creativity in visualizing will be more than watching a movie or watching an audiovisual, because it's already there. You need not visualize anything.
Yes, sir. Sir, while I accept and agree to your statement that reading definitely invokes the creativity of our mind, but at the same time, looking at a visual art also invokes creativity. That is what the entire painting industry or else the artistic industry has been present on. And even if we look at a movie, there are multiple ways in which a movie has been interpreted, or the same situation or scene in the movie can be imagined in a different way by a different person. So I believe, sir, every mode of expression has the capability of invoking creativity. It is up to the individual to explore the avenues of his own mind to go beyond his creative intellectuals.
If we accept this argument, if I give a statement, after a few years, few decades, the book will disappear, the hard copy will disappear, and completely its soft copies or audiovisual materials we are going to depend upon. Do you agree to this scenario?
Sir, I would not totally agree to this. While the argument that there might be an increase in audiovisual aspects is right, but total disappearance of book would be wrong, because book is always needed in order to express one's creativity. Like uh, there is always an aspect of a book wherein there will be a writer who expresses his thoughts in writing, whereas there are equally creators who express their thoughts in the visual arts. So as long as this is present, I don't see books completely vanishing from the social space.
One study is there. All the students of present generation, including all the civil services aspirants, I have been talking to so many people for the past few years in these mock interviews. 95% of the aspirants do not have the habit of reading, either fiction or something book. They are mostly their books are completely academic books, and then audiovisual materials or something else. So entire generation is moving away from the books. Can you expect books to survive?
Yes, sir, I do expect the books to survive, because there is that 5% who will take it forward, is what I believe, sir. And there is always a cycle in which trends happen, is what I believe, sir. Now, I recently have observed in Hyderabad where there is an increasing activity of book clubs or book enthusiasts who
Mhm.
meet on regular basis and exchange books. So it is these people who have started reading like 15, 20 years ago, now they are reviving it again. So I believe, sir, this same thing will happen after a cycle of 20, 30 years, where I am optimistic that it might be revived. There are these cycles of correction in the society with respect to things like this,
Good.
is what I believe, sir.
Let's hope for the best.
Yes, sir.
What about the happenings in the international level? Are you watching what is happening in Gaza?
Yes, sir. I have been
Can
watching.
you explain the scenario in brief?
Yes, sir. Sir, if I have to explain the scenario in brief, I believe, sir, the Israelis were attacked by the Hamas, which is a militant group, which is branded as terrorist, which is a terrorist group according to Israelis and major international agencies. And they have killed more than 1,000 Israelis. And this was resisted by Israelis by attacking the Gaza Strip without differentiating between the civilians as well as the militants or the terrorists. And it has been continuing even after a long period of time, even after the casualties have nearly touched 20,000 at present. And at the same time, sir, there has been increasing differences in the international arena with respect to Israelis actions, with even US pressurizing Israel to stop this particular humanitarian conflict, which is impacting the civilians as well. Uh, this is the brief of it, sir. But
What is
I
it? Yeah, please continue.
Yes, sir. But I believe, on the concluding note, I believe Israel is not yet showing signs of it stopping the bombing of the Gaza Strip, or else coming to a negotiating table with respect to the issue.
What is the strength of Israel? Because it's so defiant. It's not listening to any of the international organizations or even its best friend America's appeal. Why it is so defiant? What is the strength or arrogance of Israel? I'm using the word arrogance. Do you accept that word?
Sir, while I accept Israel is strong with respect to its own decisions, but I believe, sir, what they are concerned or what they propose or what they say is that they are doing it for the survival because of their uh, in past historic violence, being victims of past historic violence. This is the way they are trying to resist to avoid a future instance of violence or to protect their own race from being wiped out, is what their defense would be. But in terms of strength, sir, Israelis are stronger politically, economically, as well as in technological terms. And they have established themselves as a strong community across the world, even uh, acting as a pressure group in the America. That is the reason I believe they are able to sustain even the pressure from America.
What are the relations vis-a-vis Israel with India and Palestine? Both India and Palestine, India and Israel. Can you explain the relation between these two entities with India?
Yes,
Historical analysis or evaluation I need to
yes,
hear
sir.
from you.
Sir, starting with Palestine historical analysis and the present state. India has always been a friend of Palestine and its cause, and also initially is India was of the opinion of not dividing or having a two-state solution because of its own uh, experience with partition and the bloodshed it is associated with. And India has also maintained good ties with Israel on the same level, starting from the time of 1948. Although it didn't establish a complete diplomatic relationship, but later point of time, as the issues evolved, India started supporting the two-state solution and called for a peace as a principal stance with both the entities. And with Palestine, sir, India has been supporting the two-state solution as well as asking Israel to come to the negotiating table with respect to the two-state solution. And with respect to Israel, sir, in the recent years, like over the last decade or 10 to 8 years, the relationship has diversified in terms of the way in which we engage with Israel. It has entered into science and technology domain. It has entered into increased trade as well as increased people-to-people ties because of the Israelis who have been living in India and shifted to Israel.
Mm. So, what exactly is our position today? Is it credible position in the international scenario, or we are comfortably sitting on the wall?
Sir, our position, I believe, is credible and as well as in accordance with our national interests. And I believe, sir, it would be wrong to say we are sitting on the wall because every country has followed some kind of extent to which they are thinking before they take a stance on these kind of issues. And also, India has principally maintained the stance of two-state solution and always called for peace, not just in Israel and Palestine matters, but across the world and in various issues. And so, I believe, sir, we have a credible position with respect to this aspect.
Have you heard about Yasser Arafat?
Yes, sir, I did.
Anything with Yasser Arafat to do with your Usman University?
I am not aware.
He was offered honorary doctorate.
Okay, sir. I'll look into it.
Yeah. One of the international dignitaries who was honored with honorary doctorate by Usman University.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell about any other great person who was given honorary doctorate from by Usman University in 1950s? Great economist or a constitutional or a
Uh,
writer.
I am unable to recall, sir.
I have given the best clue in the world. That is Ambedkar.
Yes, sir.
Ambedkar was also conferred with honorary doctorate by Usman University.
Yes.
Usman University has the record of honoring so many big, huge stalwarts in that sense. Okay. Do you watch films?
Yes, sir. Not very frequently over the last 1 year, but in general, I do watch films.
Because of your civil services preparation, you are not.
It is that reason, as well as most of the friends that I go along with films have left to US. So,
Okay. So, what sort of films, what genre you love to watch?
sir, I watch all sorts of films, but the genre that I prefer is a movie that is associated with history or any autobiographies.
Have you seen the movie on Srinivas Ramanujan?
No, sir, I didn't get the opportunity. I didn't see it, sir.
The Man Who Knew Infinite.
Infinite. Yes.
Srinivas Ramanujan's biographical movie. So basically, when we discuss about the movies, there is a big change, huge change in the scenario in nowadays. So whether it is Telugu movie or Indian movie or Hindi movie or anything, what exact change you can see present in the present scenario?
Sir, there are multiple changes which I can observe with various industries, sir. For example, with respect to Telugu industry, the changes that I have been observing is the grandeur of the movies has been increasing with respect to the way in which they spend the budget on the movie. It has been going to around 200 crores, 300 crores, and also projecting the regional film as a pan-India film by dubbing it in various languages is one such change. Secondly, sir, there are stories that are coming up which are mostly trying to associate with the people rather than the old trend of stories. Mostly the present stories are those stories which are trying to address the social issues that are present in the society or else establish a connection with the audience in terms of emotional aspects is the change that I see, sir.
So this is the scenario. So is it because of the globalization or anything happening inside India, which is just a phenomena related to India only?
Sir, it is both with respect to globalization as well as things happening within the country, sir. Sir, I believe the budget has been increasing because it has to cater to the global audience as well, because the global audience are accustomed to seeing movies which are made on a grand scale. Like, for example, Interstellar is a movie which is made with a budget with which we launch our satellites. And to meet that grandeur and to meet that expectations, we are making our own movies depicting our own culture in a grand way using graphics as or artificial sets. And also, secondly, sir, with the trend that I mentioned, that is addressing the social issues or connecting with the audience in an emotional manner. This is with the changes that are taking place in the society, within the Indian society, sir. Like, there is growing awareness among the people about various social issues present in the society, and also there is increasing trend of the OTTs and the short series that are made on various issues. Like for example, the series of Panchayat, which has depicted the way in which a panchayat functions at the grassroots level, addressing multiple social issues in one series itself. Because of the growing awareness or interest of the people, we are changing our stories, sir.
Have you heard about the delimitation of parliamentary constituencies, which is to be taken up in the near future?
Yes, sir. I did hear.
Can you visualize the scenario once the delimitation takes place? The scenario demographically, what will be the changes in the Indian socio-political scenario?
Yes, sir. Sir, after the delimitation exercise, I believe the number of first thing is if we go by the representation per each member of parliament, it is said that the number of seats in the parliament might have to be increased to a great extent, touching approximately 700, more than 700. This would lead to a party winning majority of half of 700 would be a difficult task, is what I believe, sir. Uh, and secondly, sir, it would also lead to increasing politicization of local issues, because now the members who are representing, like the now the population has a chance of forwarding their issues in a much greater way. Because if a constituency is representing 10 lakh odd people rather than representing 30 lakh odd people, these 10 lakh odd people might have a specific issue and they might lead the entire election on that particular issue. So in this way, the elections might be led or might take place on very specific social issues that are associated with that particular location or that particular constituency. And thirdly, sir, I think this would also increase the wider representation of various strata in the society. Like with the increase in number of seats, I am optimistic that there would be more youth, more women, more representation from the backward classes, as well as a diverse representation in the parliament, which would also transfer into development of the social indicators of all these sections of the members of the society, is what I believe.
These are all the generalizations when we can discuss. When number is increasing, definitely all these things will happen. But don't you see the north-south divide?
Yes, sir, that is another aspect.
Is it another aspect? It is the bigger aspect of the
It is the main aspect that the political parties have been putting forward, as well as the people are concerned about. Because, sir, I believe it is like it is seen in a way that the people who have put efforts to stabilize the population or reduce the growth of population are being punished at present with lower representation, which would translate into lower say in the population, lower say in the policies of the country. But at the same time, sir, it would not be it if forwarding of this issue is done alone, it would lead to affecting the unity and integrity of the nation, wherein the policy making might be hindered. If the entire politics is done on this issue itself, it would impact the positive progressive nature of our society.
Ambedkar has written a book on reorganization of states or those things, those aspects. Do you know about that book? Any
Uh,
small booklet?
no, sir, I'm sorry, sir, I'm not aware of.
Thoughts on linguistic states.
Yes, sir, I'll read.
It's a small booklet. Go through
Yes,
that. That gives you some framework to understand this nitty-gritty of all this north, south, west, and states reorganization, and more safer North India. All these things he has delved in detail much before. In 1954 itself, he has written a wonderful booklet.
yes, sir.
Yeah. So you can download Thoughts on Linguistic States.
Yes, sir.
Smaller book. Since you are attempting for civil services, have you attempted in state services, state group 1?
Yes, sir. I did give my preliminary exam in Telangana State Public Service Commission Group 1.
So because of the cancellations and it is not at all moved. Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
So finally, if given a chance, you have options to choose foreign service and police service. Which one will you take?
Sir, I will take Indian Police Service uh, over Foreign Service, sir.
Reason?
Sir, my personal inclination to take Indian Police Service is I have more opportunity to have interaction with the people and solve the issues in the country, and also the impact I can create in establishing law and order, or else in maintaining a safe environment for the people of the country or the location in which I am posted is greater, is what I believe, sir. While saying this, I also would take an opportunity. I am not saying that IFS is not having these opportunities, but my personal inclination is towards having more interaction with the people and solving their problems is what is the reason, sir.
You have a choice to serve on one hand Andaman and Nicobar service, and the other one is Haryana. Which one you will take?
In in police service, sir?
No, no, any service. Serving as a civil servant.
Yes,
On
sir.
one side, you have the option of serving in Andaman Nicobar. The other one is Haryana.
Sir, I would take up Andaman and Nicobar because, sir, I believe uh, with respect to Haryana, if I compare, Haryana is developed to some extent when we compare Andaman and Nicobar with respect to establishment of industries or with respect to educational institutions or employment opportunities. At the same time, Andaman would give me a huge potential to create an impact or to create some positive change in the Andaman society. That is, I can as a civil servant, I can take steps to establish educational institutions or small scale industries in Andaman, as well as it has a huge tourism potential. I believe I would also get an opportunity to promote tourism in Andaman, and instead of Indians going for Thailand or some other country, I would prefer them visiting Andaman. So I believe more scope of work for me in terms of creating the impact from the base where we are starting is what Andaman provides more than Haryana is what I believe.
Yeah. Right, Kaushik? Let's conclude our interaction now and go for the review. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Be relaxed and you can tell me how was the interaction? What did you feel during the interaction?
Sir, I feel it was more cordial. Uh, I'm not sure about the answers that I gave with few technical questions like architecture and all. I did few mistakes instead of I should have instead told I don't know. Like the Mauryan bricks was one mistake that I did, and even like although I understood it was residential buildings that you were mentioning, uh, I didn't specifically have the idea about the residential structures in these kingdoms. But then I was imagining the art and culture thing that I read and trying to give answer how the residential buildings might be. This was one mistake I think I did, sir. And also with respect to few facts that I gave, like the architectural style of arts college building. This is something I should be knowing, and this was a mistake. I should have not compared it with Parliament building. I did a mistake. It was some confusion. And opinion-based questions and the perspectives, I am not sure, sir. Like if I like, you should be saying it. I'm not sure. Sir.
No, basically, this was an interaction
Yes, sir.
to understand how to proceed with your mock interview.
Yes, sir.
Types of questions, it's random.
Yes, sir.
Like when I discussed about Gaza, suddenly I got, because I know I was in Usman University when Yasser Arafat was being conferred with his honorary degree.
Yes, sir.
Then it's my problem. I'll be knowing. You might not be knowing because there is a big gap. But
Yes.
still, that is an information which is more important.
Yes, sir.
Because one of the board member, if he knows this,
Yes, sir.
and when you're talking about Gaza and your Usmania background, those sort of questions will come.
Yes, sir.
Very, very, very rare, no doubt about it. But chance is there.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, my understanding about this interaction, first of all, you can be more crisp.
Yes, sir.
That is the first thing.
Yes, sir.
Because see, when you are explaining, you take a few seconds or you organize the in a better way. See, when you start the answer, you might give some general statements in the beginning, but while giving these statements itself, you have to organize your answer in a better way.
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3, like that. You need not say the first point, the second point, secondly, thirdly. No, no, you are not. You will not put it like that. But that organization of the answer is more important, so that your answer will be very, very sharp, crisp, and it should touch the core issue of the question.
Yes, sir.
In each and every question, there will be one crucial aspect. We have to talk about that crucial aspect.
Yes, sir.
Like Gaza. In Gaza, we have given the general statement that this is terrorist, labeled by all many organizations. Hamas,
Yes,
this is one thing. But at the same time, you have taken a stand about from the side of Israel, saying that they are acting because they are the victims. They were the victims in the past.
yes, sir.
But Palestinians did not
Yes,
unleash the atrocity on Israel.
yes, sir.
It was someone else.
Yes, sir.
But now the victims are Palestinians. How to balance this understanding? You might not get the chance to discuss everything like this in the interview.
Yes, sir.
But these aspects will be judge.
Yep.
This will judge your analytical capability, whether where you are staying, where what are the stands you are taking.
Yes,
By
sir.
saying that they're doing all these things because it's an excuse for them to unleash all the atrocities on Palestinians. I'm talking as an individual. Okay, I feel that they shouldn't unleash the atrocities on Palestinians.
Yes, sir.
They could have something else, some negotiations, something else. But if you have read how Palestine became so small, now it is
Yes,
a corridor. Who
yes,
is responsible for that? It is Israel.
yes, sir.
In spite of all the pressures or the what you call recognition or derecognition by different countries, Israel was so adamant. You need not say adamant or arrogant, but your answer should have some of the insights to balance these things. Okay, so
Yes,
put the statement of fact, two versions from this side and that side, and you can take a stand that is soft, need not be harsh, but soft.
yes,
Israel
sir.
need not be so atrocious on Palestinians, though they were the victims in the past. If you have this, if you frame this statement, this will be more balancing.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, you can review. If you review, the whole discussion is more into justifying the Israel's acts.
Yes, sir. Even I realized I was doing that
Uh,
at one point. Then
but
I,
yeah,
yes,
so that is one thing. Okay. Then coming to, as you have all rightly pointed out about the details of arts college, architecture, the problem is most of our educational institutions do not delve with the practicability and the application aspect of the things. You are moving around arts college, a civil engineer, but not knowing the characteristics of this building.
yes,
This is the problem, not with you. This is the problem with our education system itself. So, inculcating this habit of understanding. Why I asked about that roof? Roof. Actually, forts and all those things have the this one kadil and tangada. What do you say? What kadi means? Stone beams.
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 Yes,
Beams and slabs. These were used, no doubt, in larger structures like forts.
forts.
But in the houses, you can't have the big beams. Only the roofs and the walls with the what you call wood, and finally on that the different materials were used to have the
Oh,
roofs.
yes,
That
sir.
is why after the collapse or after a few thousands of years or hundreds of years, you don't have the roof material
Yes, sir.
found in the excavation because it is perishable material.
Yes, sir.
Whereas the imperishable materials are there, still standing on the soil.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So perishable, imperishable materials. If you have this understanding in architecture, you can guess if you haven't read also.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I didn't ask much about traveling. You said about traveling. Traveling is one such interesting aspect. You can get more questions and you can answer easily.
Yes, sir.
Take it as your fort.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You be thorough with whatever areas you have traveled and brief history, brief understanding, and what exactly those sites are known for.
Yes, sir.
Only the thing I would like to tell you is interview is, or this personality test is the one. If you are intelligent enough, you will give the cue to the board which question has to be asked.
Yes.
Understand?
Yes, sir.
This is a psychological thing. You state something plainly, very plainly, but you are inviting questions on that statement itself.
Yes, sir.
So you should be sharp enough, or you should prepare yourself for such statements, such ideas or topics where you will give the cue. The interview board will, I don't say fall in trap, but they will have the cue and they may ask questions more on that. That way, you'll have a better chance of getting more marks.
Yes.
How many attempts you have given till date?
This is the first attempt.
First attempt, very good. So, first attempt, you cleared prelims and mains.
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
25, sir.
25. So, till now, you haven't started. So, you didn't even give an attempt in prelims previously.
No, sir.
So, first attempt, you went up to mains and now interview. So, be confident.
Yes, sir.
You prepare on these lines, whatever you have.
Yes.
See, getting through the civil services in the first attempt is one of the very, very, what you call, credible aspect. So you have done whatever you have to do in your prelims. How was your performance in sociology, mains, your expectation?
Sir,
Maybe.
I believe it went on good lines only.
Okay.
But I'm unable to got, sir, because this is the first time.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
test series, I was getting good, but I'm not sure the private test series what will the marks be awarded. So correction in what lines it is on UPSC standards, I'm not sure. So I'm unable to gauge the exact marks or anything.
Anyway, all the best for your mains results, mains marks, and
Yes,
do well in the this one interview, personality test.
yes.
So, is this the first one, or you have attempted mock test before?
No, sir. This is the first mock interview.
First, good. So, what you have to do is prepare on these lines. We can
Yes,
have another session too. Okay. When is
yes,
your
sir.
interview?
There's no. It's not in the first slot, sir.
So
It
then
is.
you have enough time.
Yes,
Be relaxed. Read newspapers. Do you
yes.
read newspapers?
I read only Hindu, sir. Not multiple papers, but I'm thinking I'll start one more paper, Times of India, because
No, time, not Times of India. You read Indian Express. This is my you may take it up. Okay.
yes, sir.
Indian Express is much better than Times of India. Times of India is just like what you call page three paper.
But I heard like most of the like in the interview transcripts or anywhere it is like because the panel reads Times of India, you should read of India.
I think this is a big problem. No, no, it's not that. North Indian orientation is, see, Times of India has more reach.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Because of the reach, we people
Language is
know
simple.
about it.
Yes.
But the simple language and those things. But I believe Indian Express is a better newspaper than Times of India, New Indian Express or anything.
Yes.
Anyway, it is not a hard and fast rule. You can read Times of India too, but be analytical, be sharp.
Yes.
Okay, okay. That will definitely fetch you more marks. You are confident. Whatever you have read, whatever you know, you are presenting in a better manner.
Yes.
Be confident. Need not worry about the in many other mock interviews in future. Some people may say that do this and do this. Forget about it. It's your personality test. They'll be
Yes.
seeing what your personality.
Yes. Sir.
I can't say that you should be like this.
Yes.
It's your personality which is being exhibited or tested, which is being awarded marks. Okay. Be natural, be cool, and all the best.
Yes. Sir, I have like
Yes.
doubt with regards to sir these questions like the ones about caste system or else the perspective based questions that you asked, like even the places where we would serve or else the
Yeah.
service which you prefer. Sir, like how was the answering on those?
Okay, but I would have answered in a different way about the Andaman and Haryana. See, all of the times, most of the aspirants, what they're doing is they're saying that we are here to serve. That is part of it, no doubt. But you studied sociology for your civil services. I would have said instead, I love to work in Andaman Nicobar to study the sociological aspects of that area because it gives a diverse, what you call, opportunities
Cultural.
for me
Yes,
to study a different socio-political context too,
yes, sir.
Andaman Nicobar. So first, let's be sincere students towards society. Then we can serve. This is the missing aspect in most of the aspirants, I believe. This is my personal opinion, whether you
Yes,
take it or not.
yes,
Most of the aspirants will start saying that we are here to serve. If you have to serve, you should be an obedient learner from the society. No one till date I have seen answering this way, saying that we can learn lots of things from the society. Then we can serve. This
yes,
will be more humble and more honest and more correct answer also.
yes, sir.
Think on these lines.
Yes,
Learning from the society, learning from that particular area. Haryana is like any other plain state, but as a student of sociology, I would like to, I prefer to work in Andaman Nicobar to understand the diverse aspects of tribals, society, island, many
yes, sir.
things. Okay, this
Yes,
this
sir.
shows that you have something which is different from all the others.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, it's like explaining things in the mains.
Sir, but I believe like if I answer this thing, they would go to the cadre references or
No,
something.
no. See, it depends on your marks. How can you see? If you are answering that, I would like to join in Andaman Nicobar. Do you think the board will have the number of marks here itself to decide your cadre there and there itself?
But then they might ask, why is Andaman Nicobar, why is Agmund Carter not there, or else why did you put Northeast in fifth zone like that? No, sir.
See, you haven't put it in your choice, but the question is coming from the board,
Okay. Yeah, yeah, understood.
is it not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The question is from the board. The board is saying that Haryana or Andaman.
Yes,
Then
sir.
you are answering this way.
Understood.
Your choice is different.
Yes, sir.
So you can have this answer like that.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Is it clear now?
Clear, sir.
So actually, you don't get the rank, or your cadre in the interview board itself. You don't know how many marks the other person will be getting in another board.
Yes.
And what about your mains? We don't know.
Yes,
Mains
sir.
of the other candidates, we don't know. Putting together, you will have the cadre. No.
Yes, sir.
So your answer will not decide the cadre here. Your
Yes.
answer will exhibit your aptitude, your worldview, your understanding towards society.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Select a few words for each and every answer. Every answer has a few keywords. Like in your this one, any article in the newspaper, there will be keywords.
Yes, sir.
Every answer has keywords. Prepare those. Those keywords should be the what you call words on which you are going to spin your answers.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That's it, sir.
Any other question?
No, sir. That's it.
Yeah. Prepare well.
Yes, sir.
Be cool. Be calm. Be confident.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Contact the management again. We can
Yes, sir.
have another session too sometime
Yes, sir.
with more
Yes, sir.
different things.
Yes, sir.
Hmm?
Thank you, sir.
All the best, Kaushik.
Thank you, sir.